I am State Senator Bobby Powell, representing Senate District 30 in Palm Beach County, and this is the Powell Press, the 7th week of the 2020 legislative session. And I've got some important issues that I'd like to discuss with you this week. This week, the Senate moved legislation with regard to the Land Acquisition Trust Fund, the Holocaust education, and the Ocoee race riots. In addition, we also spent time on the Senate floor. In the Appropriations Subcommittee on Agriculture, Environment, and General Government, we passed Senate Bill 332, which creates a statutory distribution from the Land Acquisition Trust Fund, requiring $100 million to be appropriated annually to the Florida Forever Trust Fund. These funds are required to be distributed in accordance with the Florida Forever Act. The bill also specifies that the Land Acquisition Trust Fund may not be used to fund any costs within the budget entities that provide for administrative support. In the full Appropriations Committee, we heard Senate Bill 1628 regarding Holocaust education. This bill includes the study of a specified policy against anti-Semitism. The bill requires that the school districts, charter schools, and the Department of Education provide instruction authorizing these entities to work within the Holocaust educational organizations for the purpose of providing Holocaust education. Also, as we've reached the end of Black History Month, we heard Senate Bill 1262 by Senator Randolph Bracy regarding the Ocoee race riots of 1920. This bill relates to the 1920 Ocoee Election Day riots. Over 60 African Americans were killed and Black businesses were burned to the ground during these race riots regarding disenfranchisement of the Black vote. Senate Bill 1262 directs or encourages officials, including the Commissioner of Education's African American History Task Force, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Environmental Protection Agency, and the district school boards to take steps to publicize the history of the Ocoee Election Day riots in 1920. On the Senate floor, I presented Senate Bill 1590, Juror Sanctions. I discussed how the bill mirrors the federal language for penalties regarding juror sanctions, including a maximum fine of $1,000, a maximum of 3 days of incarceration, and the inclusion or addition of the right to counsel. It was placed on third reading, where it will be voted on next week on the Senate floor. And that's all for this week's edition of the Powell Press. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment to stay engaged with us as we continue to go through session. Please join us next week for the 8th week of the 2020 legislative session. I'm State Senator Bobby Powell Jr., reminding you that a life of service is a life that counts.